In a quiet suburban town in Ohio lived a young man named Ethan Walker, a 22-year-old college dropout with dreams bigger than the world around him believed possible. His family struggled financially. His father worked endless overnight shifts driving a truck, and his mother cleaned houses to help pay bills. Life wasn't cruel, but it was heavy, and everyday survival felt like a battle. Despite everything, Ethan held on to a dream. Ever since childhood, he loved creating things, fixing broken radios, building model cars, wiring circuits from scrap. He always believed that one day he would invent something that could change lives. But when he dropped out of college because his family could no longer afford tuition, the people around him began to whisper. "He won't make it," they said. "Dreams don't pay bills. He needs a real job." Their words cut deep. For the first time, he wondered if maybe they were right. But somewhere deep inside, a quiet voice continued to whisper, "Don't stop." Life continued to push him down. Ethan juggled part-time jobs, repaired broken electronics for neighbors, and sold old belongings just to keep the lights on. At night, he lay awake, staring at the ceiling, overwhelmed by fear and disappointment. One freezing winter night, after another day full of rejection, Ethan sat outside on the porch, shivering as the cold wind brushed his face. He remembered something his father once told him. "Son, winners aren't the ones who never fall. They're the ones who get back up every time." Those words softened his heartbeat and reminded him of who he wanted to become. That night, through tears and frustration, he made a promise to himself, "I won't stop. I will make this dream real." The next morning, Ethan began building a prototype he had imagined for years, a portable, lightweight, solar-powered charging device that could help emergency teams and communities with limited electricity. With no money for materials, he searched junkyards and old garage sales, collecting wires, batteries, and broken panels. He spent endless nights working in a small, dusty garage, lit only by a dim bulb. His fingers bled from tools, and exhaustion blurred his vision, but he never stopped. Neighbors laughed when they saw him covered in grease and wires. "That kid thinks he's an inventor," they joked. "Nothing'll ever come of it." But Ethan wasn't just building a machine. He was building hope. After months of sleepless nights and failed attempts, one early morning at 4 a.m., the prototype finally powered a single light bulb. It was small, but to Ethan it meant everything. He stared at the glowing bulb and whispered to himself with trembling excitement, "Believe in your dreams. Don't stop." Confident and determined, Ethan began presenting his idea to investors. But reality struck hard. He was rejected 27 times. Some politely declined, others outright laughed. One investor told him, if this was possible, someone smarter would have already done it. The rejection broke his heart. Some days he couldn't even look at the invention. It reminded him of pain. But he pushed forward anyway, taping the word "believe" to the wall so he would see it every morning. Just when he thought things couldn't get worse, life delivered the hardest blow. His father collapsed during a long delivery shift and was rushed to the hospital. Medical bills piled up faster than they could breathe. Ethan felt guilt heavier than stone. Holding his father's weak hand, he cried silently, "Dad, maybe I should stop." His father squeezed his hand with the last strength he had and whispered, "No, don't stop. The world needs people like you." Those were the final words he spoke to his son before passing away. Devastated, Ethan nearly destroyed the prototype in grief. He felt broken, empty, and defeated. But in the quiet of the night, he heard his father's voice echoing in his heart, "Don't stop." With renewed determination, he rebuilt the prototype from scratch, stronger than ever. He filmed a video showing how it worked and shared his story honestly, every struggle, every tear, every failure, every moment he wanted to quit. He posted it online and went to bed without expecting anything. By morning, the video had exploded, first hundreds, then thousands, then millions of views. Messages poured in from across the country, then from around the world. Engineers offered help, teachers shared his video with students, humanitarian organizations wanted to use his invention in disaster zones. And then came the message that changed everything. We believe in your vision, let's build this together. Ethan flew to California to meet the investors. This time, everyone listened. They saw his passion, his dedication, and his innovation. He secured funding and founded Bright Path Energy, a company dedicated to bringing clean, portable power to communities in need. Within 2 years, his invention was being used in hurricane-affected areas, rural towns, refugee camps, and emergency medical sites. News networks told his story. Schools invited him to speak. Awards filled shelves he once thought he'd never own. And when he stepped on stage at a global energy conference, looking at the thousands of people in the audience, he felt the presence of his father standing beside him in pride. With emotion thick in his voice and tears in his eyes, he said, "Dreams don't work unless you do. And when the world tells you to quit, don't stop." The entire room rose to its feet in a standing ovation. In the front row, his mother cried softly, knowing her husband would have been the proudest man alive. So whenever life knocks you down, whenever the world doubts you, whenever your heart feels heavy and you want to give up, remember Ethan's story. Success is not about talent or luck. It's about patience, courage, and refusing to stop. You never know how close you are to the moment that changes everything. One more try could be the try that transforms your life. The universe rewards those who refuse to quit. Believe in your dreams. Don't stop. The world needs what you carry inside.